Yeah, this was a sucker's bet. Hello and welcome back to the Crypto Weekly Review. So, yeah, drop in price after the halving. It's a sucker's bet, and I'll show you why here and say right now. First off, down in the description you will find a link to the Brave browser. All you have to do is download it and use it. If you do that, they pay me some BAT, and you get a great browser. It's a fantastic deal. Also, down below you'll find links to Coinbase. Whether you've got an account or not, they pay if you sign up using my link, they pay you some crypto. They pay me some crypto, and there are also links to educational videos that if you watch, you get paid crypto. I get paid crypto. Again, it's a fantastic deal. So what's been going on? Well, over the last week, we see that Bitcoin is flat. Up 0.32% over 7 days. And that's not surprising. It really is not. Considering how far up we have been, it's really not that surprising. Let's see what we've got as far as the top gainers. So, there's a crypto I've never heard of. Ethereum. Never heard of it. Up 154%. Followed by 0x. 0x I am familiar with. 0x is up over 83.5%. It's been interesting to watch some of this stuff go up and just do incredible things. You know, Neo is another one I'm familiar with. Used to own Neo. It's up 10.5% over the last 7 days. So we do have some really good. There's BAT up 3.38%. We do have some solid, well-known cryptocurrencies that I've heard of and have researched and know something about that are doing well. But for the most part, if we look at, we've got a lot of red over the last 7 days in the crypto markets. And this is something that, it doesn't take a fortune teller or a rocket scientist to figure this out. So what have we got here? Well, got a couple of things. First off, I want to draw your attention to this green square. I drew it from the bottom of the massive drop that we had up to the high point last week, which was $10,049, and it was an increase of 151.16%. Okay, and that's over what, 8 weeks? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks, roughly. So that's not a bad gain. That's not a bad run at all. We've had a really good run of things. We ran up 151% is great. Now, that's going into the Bitcoin halving. And let me do this. I want to get rid of this one here. So I drew then from the top point, which is, again, from last week, from the top point, which is $10,000, just over $10,000, I drew a box that's down at 30%, 29.97%. That brings us back down to, of course, around the $7,000 mark, which is exactly what I expected. If we have a drop of 30%, it'll take us back down to around $7,000. And what do you know? Last week, we have a spinning top. It's not a doji, it's a spinning top. Dojis and spinning tops are both signals of reversal. Doji is more. If it were a doji, I'd say absolutely this is going to happen. It's a spinning top. It's saying be careful. It's likely. The reversal is likely to happen. And here we have this week, and the block reward halving is under 5 hours from now. As I record this at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, we have just under 5 hours before the block reward gets halving. The halving happens. This magical, wonderful event that everybody has been talking about for months is going to happen in less than 5 hours. And I'm just sitting back laughing. I remember the halving in 2016, and yeah, everybody who was in the space at the time was just going on about how magical and how wondrous and how And then nothing happened. I mean, really, nothing happened. Yeah, the price dropped a bit, but it wasn't like as soon as the halving happened, the price just jumped up. That didn't happen at all. And it won't happen this time either. This is the most hyped up non-event you will ever see in your life. But it is going to probably cause a lot of people to draw out money and Bitcoin to dump after, anytime after 5 hours from now. Why? Because we have hyped up, I say we, the people in this space have hyped up this halving so much, and the fact that as soon as it goes up and as soon as as Bitcoin reward is cut in half, the price drops by 30%. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. We have hyped it and hyped it and hyped it. We're going to go up and we're going to, people are going to buy in up to, in the weeks leading up to this magical halving event. And then as soon as it happens, the price is going to drop. Well, okay, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy because you're right. Everybody who hears about this, and of course, it's the mainstream media who has no clue about Bitcoin, who is doing most of this, really. They're the ones talking about how Bitcoin has always gone up in price as it gets to the halving and then immediately drops without ever doing any research or looking at the charts. They have no clue. They're only going on hearsay that they have heard somewhere. I don't know who their sources are, but somewhere someone has been telling them this. And so, of course, we've got a lot of traders coming in saying, hey, this sounds like a sure thing. I'm going to ride this. And they see that, over the last, first 3 or 4 weeks, especially after this massive drop, they see these candles and say, hey, this looks like a good thing. So they get in and we see large candles like we saw on the, at the end of March. And slowly but surely, the price works up. And then we see, again, 2 weeks ago, we see this large green candle where, on the 27th, the week of the 27th of April, so the end of March and the end of April, we see a lot of activity coming into Bitcoin. And suddenly, this last week, ending yesterday, we see a downward candle. It would, as high as 10,000, what was the high here? High as $10,045. This has been, and we kind of expected nearly $10,000 per Bitcoin, somewhere around the halving. That was kind of a given. Again, 2 weeks ago I said it's never going to happen. Well, I was wrong. I admit that. But a lot of people were saying, yeah, it'll go up to $10,000 before they were saying, we're going to have a $10,000 Bitcoin at the halving, is what they were saying. Well, we might. It's going to have to go up by $1,000 if we do, because again, the halving is a little over 4.5 hours from now. So yeah, what are we going to do? Well, all right. So this is a non-event. It really is, but it has been hyped so much that I fully expect price to drop significantly. 30%, I think is a good guess. And that's really all it is a guess. 30% drop after the halving is probably a good guess for what's going to happen. And fine, I've got no problems with that. Take us down to $7,000. Okay, that's not a bad price. And now after the halving, once the FOMO of the halving finishes up, we can go back to Bitcoin acting normally, and we can ride the elevator slowly and smoothly. Escalator, but it's more of an escalator, not really an elevator. The escalator. We can ride the smooth escalator up and forward, and by the end of the year, I think we could see $15,000, $20,000 Bitcoin, and that will be perfectly normal. It really will. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a live stream for the halving, probably start about an hour before the halving. And, you'll notice, if you've been paying attention, you'll notice that this clock has been all over the place. It said it was going to be, May 12th at as late as, I think, 4 a.m. UTC, and now it's at today, May 11th, at 1952 UTC. This is also a guess based on the fact that, on average, it takes the Bitcoin network 10 minutes to create a block. And this is not based on, the halving is not based on a time or a date. It's based on a block, on a specific block. And so after that specific block, the halving happens and the block reward drops. it gets cut in half. So this is a guesstimate based on a 10-minute average. So here in about 3.5 hours, I'm going to keep an eye on things. I'm going to try and set it up so it's available a couple of hours beforehand, so it shows up on YouTube. I'm going to do a live stream about an hour before the halving, and we'll talk about the halving. We'll talk about what I think we're going to see in the future. And anybody who wants to join me, come on in. We'll talk. We'll have a great time, and we'll ride through the halving live on stream together. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Remember, verify, don't trust.